afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a kind of unusual episode of Neo Chats, where it's not just two or three of us, but there's five of us in the room, all on the Neo team. And today is just to kind of ask the question, who is Neo? You know, we're always talking about Neo Academy. We talk about the team. We've talked a little bit about what we think is important and values and leadership and communication and all that kind of stuff. But the question today is, who are the people behind Neo Academy, and what's important to them and what brought them here? So that's the idea today. And Alejandra, I believe you've got some questions to start us off.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, for me, it's a great pleasure to have you all here. I think all of our audience knows how picky I am with our team members. So this is it. This is Neo. We of course have some other collaborators. Sorry, but today we're focusing on a big majority of us. And I do have some questions for you. It's not that I don't want to answer some of them. I will at some point, but I think in our previous chats, I've already answered many of them. And I think today it's your day, so let's do this. Question number one, whoever feels like answering, let's do this. What did you do before coming to Neo, first of all? And what were some of the things you learned about yourself in doing what you did? Who wants to start?
I'll take the floor.
Let's do this.
Okay. So before coming to Neo, I had very different experiences, one from the other. Starting from working in the financial sector in Milan, Italy, after I graduated with my bachelor. After a couple of years, I decided to move to Australia, and there I was working in the sports industry, so completely different from what I was doing before. After 2 more years, I moved to Spain, where I had my first experience in the education sector while I was studying my MBA. That's a little bit of my background before Neo. What I've learned from all these different experiences is that we can always change if we want. I always think that people are scared of changing because we never know what expects us after we make our choices. But when I decided to change my life so many times is because when I was reaching a point where I was not completely satisfied or maybe sometimes even unhappy, I preferred to risk and change instead of settle down to something I was not happy with. So that's a little bit of my experience.
That's great, and you're bringing a great point here. Courage over comfort. We've talked about this many times, and this is clearly one of the traits that are so important for us to abide by. Anyone else wants to comment on this one?
I'll go ahead. So before Neo, I was actually a student. I graduated during I was working with Neo. So I think some things that I learned before being with Neo is kind of what I like to do and what I wanted to go into, because as a recent graduate, you are kind of just put out there and you're expected to know what you want to do and know where you want to go and what you want to do with work. And that was kind of difficult for me because I studied marketing and I knew that's what I wanted to do. But being with Neo, I think I've also gotten to touch a bit on different things that I now love to do, like graphic design. So yeah.
Amazing. It's great, Valen. Thanks for sharing your experience.
In my case, before coming to Neo, I love the world of education, and I work for study abroad agencies in Colombia as an educational counselor. I worked there for almost 5 or 6 years, I can't remember, advising and guiding students and families to fulfill their dreams of studying abroad, so studying in other countries. And one of the main things that I learned, they were to inspire people, to inspire students so that they can fulfill their dream. But the most important thing was to inspire me, because I achieved my dream, and that is why now I am in Spain right now doing my master. And I learned a lot to inspire other people, to inspire me. And I also learned that the opportunities are unlimited, and you can only achieve things in your life with persistence and effort, and a lot of things that really help to make your dreams, I think.
Wow, mashallah. Amazing. Mark, anything you want to share from your end? I think we've talked about working during the studies and shaping and changing patterns. Anything that you can relate to in a way, or a totally different vision?
Well, I find it inspiring to listen to anybody that's kind of found something that motivates them, you know, because I think that's one of the most difficult things in life. And my kind of background is more of a kind of circuitous, you know. I mean, I studied like German literature, and then I worked as a translator, and then I decided I wanted to travel. So the best way to travel was to teach English, and then I ended up in volunteer projects, and you know, I set up a school in Ecuador and worked as a journalist in Guatemala and all kinds of crazy stuff, until I realized that education was really, it wasn't just a way to travel, it was something I was passionate about, you know. And I spent a few years in Sweden teaching high school and teaching university there, and then I moved to Spain and became eventually, well, ended up as kind of like a faculty manager, I guess, in a big business school, and then director of another business school, you know. So I kind of realized though that the further I got away from the classroom, the less happy I was, you know. It's like that, it always happens in education, you know. And so I've kind of come this route. It's been very random and very kind of twisting and turning, and the one thing that I've learned is that the amount of time it took me to really figure out what is my passion and purpose, I don't want other people to have to figure that out at 40 years old or whatever, you know. That's what drives me is, can we do better so that young people are actually supported to figure this out earlier, you know. I'm not saying it's not been fun, but I would really have liked to have arrived at a few conclusions 20 years ago, you know.
A
So
shorter route.
yeah, a shorter route, and then who knows where you can go and what you can do. So that's the thing is, you know, I've taken that experience and now that's driving me to make that route easier and better for other people in the future. That's what drives me.
That's great. I think, again, four very different stories, but all with a common sense, which is passion. A passion not only for a professional cause, but also for a personal cause, looking for what drives us. So I think that's a good recap with question number one. Um,